Hi guys, Forgotten Wolf here, and this is What If Jaime Lannister Was Sent to the Wall Following Him Murdering the Mad King Part 2. Before watching this, if you haven't watched Part 1, go check it out now, so for a bit of background. In the last part we saw the death of Renly, Stannis take the throne, Ned Stark lives, Cersei married to Larys, and Stannis declaring war on the Tyrells, Lannisters, and Greyjoys for defying him, and the fall of the Lannisters. Now, let's continue on to Season 5. Before we begin, if this gets 150 views and 5 likes, I'll make a part 3. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let's begin. For Season 5, or 302 AC, Stannis starts off with him using the fleet with him at Castle Rock to sail to the Iron Islands. Stannis will make quick work of the islands, like how Robert Baratheon did this. This will take 1/3 of the season, and by the end, Stannis will kill Baelor and Greyjoy as he wanted Robert to. He will also take Yara Greyjoy hostage to ensure the Iron Islands are loyal to him. This eventually leads into the northern plot, where Theon finally goes home. He meets Yara Greyjoy at the Iron Islands, and Theon will become the new Lord of the Iron Islands, very likely. Getting back to the north with the issue of the wildlings, so I think Ned will once again force Robb to declare his banners and travel south to support Stannis. Moving on to the Night's Watch, Lord Commander Jaime Lannister will be fully aware of the threat of the White Walkers, and like how he swore to defend humanity in the show, I can see Jaime letting the wildlings pass the wall after he and Jon Snow go to the wildlings at Hardhome. Their disturbing findings will be sent out to the wall, but they still don't know how to kill the White Walkers. Upon coming back, Jaime will send Samwell Tarly to the Citadel in order to try and find a way to kill the White Walkers. Moving on to the Tyrells, following Stannis returning from the Iron Islands, he will sail his fleet past the Shield Islands to go to Highgarden, and with Ned Stark commanding the whole of the North Riverland Vale army down to Highgarden. With the odds stacked against him, Larys will bend the knee to save his house, especially since Cersei has probably given him a son at this point. Stannis will take Larys and Cersei's son down to King's Landing to ensure the Tyrells remain loyal. For Daenerys, her plot will be very similar, and after the Tyrells bend the knee, Ned Stark goes to the Vale along with Sansa, Bran, Arya, and Robb to oversee the marriage of Sansa Stark to Robb and Arryn. The marriage happens as expected, and Ned, Bran, and Arya go back to King's Landing while Robb goes back north. I will say by the end of the season, Littlefinger will still end up murdering Lysa Arryn, and that marks the end of Season 5. Moving on to Season 6 to 303 AC, there are two things that happen down south. One, Stannis will install Davos as the new Lord of Castle Rock, as all the Lannisters are dead except for Cersei, who's a Tyrell, and Tyrion, who's on the run and no one knows where he is. He's probably presumed dead. And the second thing is that Bran Stark will be promised to Shireen Baratheon, and they will be married when they're older. This is a heavy season for the Night's Watch, as I do think Jaime will be murdered for the same reason that Jon was, for letting the wildlings pass the wall. With Jaime dead, Jon will escape the watch briefly to go get the wildlings or Robb's support to end the mutiny. This will end up working as the mutineers are hanged, which eventually leads into Jon Snow becoming Lord Commander of the Night's Watch a couple seasons later. Yeah. At the end of the day, Jaime did prove he was a good man, and he wasn't truly awful. And Daenerys will still name Tyrion her hand. So this is Season 6 is very dull. Nothing happens, mostly politics. And moving on to Season 7, Daenerys is here. The first battle of the war between Daenerys and Stannis is the fall of Castle Rock. Grey Worm leads an attack on Castle Rock to take it and get the full support of the Westerlands. This ends up working as Daenerys' allies now are the Reach, the Westerlands I'm in a hotel and someone's dog is barking. What? The Reach, the Westerlands, Dorne, and the Iron Islands, and the promise that Yara Greyjoy will be returned to the Iron Islands when Daenerys takes the throne. At Dragonstone, Daenerys will likely come into contact with Gendry Baratheon. More on that later. I do think that Stannis will get Shireen out of Storm's End before leaving the Red Keep for the battlefield. Bran and Shireen will be married, and both Stannis and Daenerys will get more support being for Stannis, the Northernlands in the north will rally to a side for Daenerys, Littlefinger in the Vale, because Littlefinger wants to be king, and having Stannis around will ensure a lot of power in the Iron Throne, which won't happen. I mean, the Vale already saw previously what happens when you try to resist the dragon. Stannis needs to prevent the Unsullied from meeting back up to Daenerys, so he will plan to battle the Unsullied at the Battle of the Gold Road. There won't be a battle as Stannis will fall for Tyrion's trap as he leaves King's Landing open to up there from the Towers of Dorne. Meanwhile, Euron Greyjoy plans to marry a queen after getting rejected by the Iron Islands, and so he wants to see himself married to a queen and Lord of the Iron Islands. So, and this will be Daenerys and Cersei Tyrell. Euron says Theon plans to betray Daenerys, and Euron says he can conquer the Iron Islands in exchange for Daenerys to marry him. Considering none of them know Euron at all, since Yara Greyjoy isn't there, I do think that Daenerys will accept this proposal. This will not be all for Season 7, because without Jon being King of the North, Daenerys will go beyond the wall, meaning the White Walkers will never get beyond the wall. So back to Daenerys, she charges Euron to take the Iron Islands from Theon, and for Stannis he will receive word that King's Landing is under siege. Stannis will march to lift the siege, and he will win the Battle of King's Landing briefly, taking Larys Tyrell hostage and probably later killing him. Meanwhile, other battles will fought, being the Battle of the King's Road between Littlefinger's Vale Army and Robb Stark. Robb will win the battle, and the other battle will war is the fall of Storm's End. Stannis will use her dragons and the Unsullied to take Storm's End, and this ends the season, showing weakness on Stannis' part. Moving on to Season 8 or 305 AC, the Game of Thrones will take place, as Margaery Tyrell is still alive, and since Tyrion will now be Lord of Castle Rock, and with the death of Larys, in order to ensure that the Tyrell's support, I think Tyrion will be promised to Margaery since she is in Highgarden. But since Tyrion is with Daenerys, Daenerys will order Tyrion to go to Highgarden. More than that later. But it'll also be ordered that because Tyrion will be with Daenerys when she takes King's Landing, Cersei will rule Castle Rock in his place. Daenerys will probably also get tired of Tyrion constantly urging her not to use her dragons to take King's Landing, so she sends Tyrion to marry Margaery in Highgarden immediately. Tyrion leaves, and Daenerys uses the opportunity to take King's Landing with her dragons, probably burning it down. Meanwhile, Euron is back and delivers Theon to Daenerys, and Daenerys executes Theon while Yara Greyjoy's return to the Iron Islands. Daenerys also has Bran and Arya captive, and Stannis, Ned, and Shireen will probably all be dead. Daenerys will be crowned, and Robb Stark will either bend the knee or die by dragon. Will face the Taryn Stark choice. That is it for this two-part What If. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and if you want more like this, at 100 subscribers, I'll do a 1-hour video on the FNAF Timeline. At 50k views, I'll do a video on the life of Ned Stark, and at 500k likes, I'll do a video on Greyjoy's Rebellion. And once again, and if this video gets 150 views, and 5 likes, I'll make a part 3. But until next time, bye!